Warren Buffett once said the best investment is the one that lets you sleep. Picture a quiet driveway, a 10-year-old sedan under a maple tree, and a net worth behind the door that would stun a stadium. One simple rule drives it all. What shouts to strangers often taxes your future. What do the quiet rich practice that loud spenders miss? And how can you start tonight? Cut $500 of status spending a month and you keep $6,000 a year. At $20 an hour, that's 300 hours of your life not sold. Redirect those dollars into buffers and skills, and you buy back options you can feel. Noise depreciates, silence compounds. Which one are you funding? This is Wealth Mentor Pro, where every lesson is a step closer to your freedom. Today, we lock onto a theme that flips the script for this year and the next. Quiet luxury, loud results. Why stealth wealth? Wins in 2025. Warren Buffett Inspired. If attention is the new currency, why do the most durable fortunes look allergic to it? Stay with me, because a few small shifts you make today can rewrite the next decade. Think of your financial life like a night crossing at sea. Many boats chase bright shore lights. Real captains steer by the compass. Here's a clear example. Your friend leases an $80,000 car for about $1,100 a month while carrying a $7,000 credit card balance. You buy a reliable $12,000 used car, and your monthly total cost, including insurance and maintenance, sits near $220. That gap isn't just $880, it's breathing room, it's control when a surprise bill shows up or a job gets shaky. Tonight, pick your top 5 showy expenses and trim one by 30% for the next 30 days. The cost of ignoring this is simple. You'll finance applause and starve progress. And here's the part most people only notice years later. The applause fades in days, but the payments echo for seasons. Which signal are you still renting? Now look at the map, not the waves. The map is your automatic flow. A ship with no route drifts into rocks. Paycheck hits on Friday, and by Monday, you're translating anxiety unless your system moves before your mood does. Set an automatic split, 10% to an emergency stash, 10% to debt prepayment, 5% to skill building, the rest to life. Money shifts quietly before you get the chance to second-guess it. Try one small move tonight. Schedule a transfer dated the day after payday, any amount you won't miss next month. If you skip this, every choice becomes a willpower duel, and willpower loses after a long day. One question to keep you honest: if your bank charged $25 per manual decision, how many would you still make? The captain's log matters too. Buffett's edge isn't chasing tickers, it's reading, thinking, waiting. In navigation terms, you chart before you sail. Instead of scrolling for deals, you spend 20 minutes with a company's annual letter or a book on pricing power, negotiation, or writing. Skills that echo everywhere. Put a 20-minute quiet block on your calendar and call it thinking time. Guard it like a flight. Skip it, and your attention gets wholesaled to whoever shouts loudest. Your time becomes someone else's inventory. The world pays a premium for people who can produce in quiet rooms. Build that room on purpose. Here's the twist most people miss. Stealth isn't scarcity, it's strategy. Quiet luxury isn't about deprivation, it's about direction. Quiet luxury, loud results. Why stealth wealth? Wins in 2025, Warren Buffett Inspired, works because privacy protects decision quality, and decision quality compounds faster than displays ever could. What's one quiet habit you already practice that saves you money or energy? Share it in the comments so others can steal it with pride. The quiet truth behind the noise is this: money that must be noticed gets worse at its job. So let's switch to rules that make the silence do work for you. Practical, calm, and immediately usable. Rule 1, lock your lifestyle and let your savings rate float. When your income rises, keep spending flat for 1 year and let only your saving and investing rise. The immediate benefit is a wider safety margin and faster autonomy without feeling poor. Say your take-home climbs by $800 after a raise. Route $600 to a Freedom account and allow $200 for upgrades you'll actually notice, like better groceries or a weekend trip that restores you. Support this with infrastructure you touch once. Set an auto transfer the day after payday so there's nothing to debate later. Track one number closely: your burn rate, the average of your last 3 months of outflow. If it climbs without a good reason, something is leaking. Keep housing under a threshold you respect. Many use 30% of take-home. It isn't a law, but it's a sturdy guardrail. And remember the tiny drips. Eliminating $60 of forgettable subscriptions returns $720 a year. If you're avoiding an 18% card, APR, that's roughly $130 in silent interest you no longer bleed. Rule 2, separate your money into quiet buckets and give yourself a decoy wallet. Use one visible checking account for bills and daily life, and a second, harder-to-access account for compounding and buffers. Don't carry the second login on your phone. Friction beats willpower. A direct deposit split like 70% to bills, 20% to the quiet bucket, 10% to skill equity keeps you moving even on tired days. Add one hard pass rule: no purchases over $200 without a 24-hour cooldown. Write the item in a note, not a cart. Set silent alerts on your accounts so you get a ping when balances cross thresholds. If you carry debt, point the quiet bucket first to the highest APR. A $5,000 balance at 18% costs about $900 a year. Killing that is a guaranteed, risk-free return in your actual life, not a forecast on a chart. Rule 3, own boring engines and show finished work, not purchases. A boring engine is anything that produces cash or capability without needing your constant announcement. It might be a certification, a side contract, or a small, simple investment approach you truly understand. The benefit is stability under stress and predictable progress under calm. Imagine spending $200 a month for 10 months on a certification that lifts your annual pay by $5,000. That's a 150% first-year payback on direct spend, and you still own the skill next year. Protect this with a real schedule. One 2-hour block weekly to advance a cash flow skill, negotiation, data fluency, sales writing, or process automation. Build a baseline buffer next. 3 to 6 months of essential expenses gives you negotiating power you can feel. That power is invisible until a crisis, then priceless. If you invest, keep it simple and diversified so you can hold through noise. This is education, not personal financial advice, and the goal is durability, not dazzle. For illustration, carving out $200 a month for a decade at a modest return can stack into 5 figures by year 10. The precise figure isn't the victory, the system is. You might wonder if stealth is just another performance in quieter clothes. Here's the filter that keeps it honest. If losing the applause changes your plan, it wasn't a plan. It was a pose. Quiet wealth builds constraints that force momentum. Caps, roots, rituals. It chooses signals you feel, like calmer mornings and fewer alerts, not signals others applaud, like logos on metal and letters on leather. Let's bring back the image we started with and give it weight you can use. The quiet driveway, the ordinary car, the extraordinary options inside. The owners didn't skip joy, they scheduled it. They didn't hide, they chose where to be seen. They knew attention comes with an interest rate. Every loud purchase borrows future focus. Every quiet system earns it back. Focus is finite. Compounding wins over congratulated poses every single time. Here's a 1-minute ritual to make stealth second nature, even in a checkout line. Before any non-essential purchase, ask 3 questions out loud. Will this still improve my day in 30 days or just today? Is there a cheaper version that does 90% of the job for 50% of the price? If I direct this dollar to my Freedom account, what changes a year from now? Set a 60-second mental timer. If you still want it, buy with intention. If not, you just bought back a minute and maybe a month. Small hinges swing big doors. Test it this week and see how quickly your days feel lighter. What happens when you start living like this? Your phone goes quieter. Your mornings slow down. You look at prices differently, not with fear, but with agency. The first emergency you pay in cash changes how you breathe. The first raise you don't spend changes how you see time. And the first week you realize your calendar has a protected thinking block tells you you're building a different life than the one the algorithm sells. You do not need to mimic anyone's stock picks or parade someone else's highlight reel. Borrow the process. Read more than you react. Decide once and automate twice. Let your burn rate flatten while your margins rise. Use privacy as a performance enhancer. Flex outcomes, not objects. And when a rare splurge truly sings, make it for you, not for strangers on the street. You've been with Wealth Mentor Pro. If this resonated, subscribe for more and watch the next video we recommend to keep building your quiet advantage.